So welcome back everybody, this is Paul again from 2012crossing.com, and this is going to be the sixth of my series about astrology for skeptics. It's 2012, today is July 18th, 2012, and lots been happening. And all the talk about 2012, people relate it to some kind of astronomical, astrological kind of thing. And as I mentioned in the other series, that astrology has been talked about for a really, really long time. And I was in a forum the other day, or YouTube video, and commenting back and forth, and I realized that some people make a lot of fun of astrology, but they really don't know much about it at all. They never studied it, never really done any serious research, or done a chart, or even know how the chart works. And I thought I'd try to describe a little bit about the broad principles here, and I'm going to use the example, for example, in this case, of the sun. The sun is really, really basic, obviously. It doesn't take much of a brain to figure that out. And the ancient people, interestingly enough, came up with this symbol for the sun, and long, long before there were telescopes, long before they finally decided that yes, the sun is the center of the solar system and so on, they came up with this symbol. Isn't that really interesting? And that's the exact symbol that they used for the hydrogen atom of one proton and one electron for the element of hydrogen, which is supposedly in the sun. I found that very, very fascinating. Maybe it's just a coincidence. Now, I made a little diagram here, and I don't know if you can understand it here. This is basically the Earth. There's the equator line. That's the true North Pole, Polaris, the sphere of the Earth pointing to the star. The magnetic pole is not the same as the north physical pole. A lot of people don't realize that. They're not the same. And the magnetic pole shifts definitely, and is shifting right now, on the Earth. So that is, the entire Earth's magnetic field is in a major flux right now. Now, the Earth tilts also toward the sun. Now, I haven't got this not proportion, okay? There's many diagrams online that you can find that describe it in much more detail and accurately. But besides the Earth's physical North Pole, which also actually points 23.5 degrees at an angle to the sun, so the sun's energy is coming this way. And this is the daylight side of the Earth, and this is the night side of the Earth. So we have a magnetic pole, and we have the Earth's pole, and then we have the solar system's pole, which you might say is, the sun. The axis of the sun points up north, but the axis of the Earth is not the same as the axis of the sun. Now, what happens every single day at sunrise? At the very instant the light starts to shine. Now there's a dawn, so light starts to come up. You start seeing the glow of the light, and then at some point you actually, there's no more obstruction to the direct light of the sun, and then at some point the sun gets above the horizon, so the very middle of the sun is coming up, and then it comes up a little bit later, and then you see the ball of the sun rising and sitting on the ocean or whatever. So as soon as that sunlight hits a certain spot on the Earth, that line between daytime and nighttime, that line that changes every few minutes. As soon as that light hits, the frequencies of the light portion of the sun and other kinds of radioactive waves that hit the Earth at that time activate something. Now, does that affect people? Think about it. If you go out in nature where you see, if you wake up in nature, camping out in the woods or whatever, you wake up at dawn, you're probably going to automatically wake up at dawn anyway, because that's how nature does it. As soon as that happens, all kinds of stuff starts happening on Earth, exactly at the place where the sun is rising. Now that piece, that section of rising sunrise moves. If I make a little mark here, let's take this position here. The sun's coming from here. This is the surface of the Earth. This is all noon, wherever this place is. That's noon over there. You look up and you see the sun beating down on you. Wow, that's powerful. The angle of the sun is a lot different then. Now then, if the sun is just a few degrees above the horizon, there's a different kind of an angle. So this piece here, this physical location, is moving this way. Let's say the Earth is turning this way. So that physical position, marked by this X here, is moving this way. And this is getting warmer. This is the increase of light. Dawn is here, sunset's here, noon is there. This energized portion, it's like just if you imagine that each piece is heated up, activated. It goes to another state. There's a transference from the darkness to the light. Very, very significant. Like I said, if you're out in nature and you see this happening, and you will be in nature and you will feel it in your body that the sun is arising, and your body, whether you like to be influenced, say you're not influenced by these, you know, it's not really true. We are influenced because what comes from the sun is not just one ray. There's a whole fabric of light. And light, electromagnetism, is information and energy. A lot of people just, oh, the light energy. But the light energy has information. When we broadcast a television signal, we send a television signal through the air, whatever, and it has information. It's not just a pulse. You can read the pulse on a certain kind of meter. Oh, well, I detect this radio wave. Yes, it's a radio wave. But then if you have a more sophisticated instrument, you can also detect the information in there. So we understand this energy is coming here, but we don't understand the information in it. The information in this field of light that we bathe in that cooks us basically day after day after day. Every day there's a positive and negative. After thousands of years, rhythms, constant rhythm. Every 2 hours or so, basically, there's an inbreathing and an outbreathing. There's the in-breath of nature and the out-breath. All nature, all waves have an in-breath and out-breath. Positive and negative. Electromagnetism, pulses, rhythms. The rhythmic cycles in nature rule us. They have to rule us because we're just here. We're just born here. Have you ever seen a little baby? You watch them come alive, you go, whoa, they're not thinking about, hey, you know, I'm the king of this and the king of that, or they're just like, whoa, I'm just lucky I'm here. Their body is unfolding right before their eyes. They're just riding on the back of it. You ever see a little baby? I just saw one recently, my nephew. Amazing. I mean, their being is there, and the being is looking out of the eyes, and that body, that's the same exact being that's going to be there 60 years from now, but that body is going to be different because the body obeys the rhythmic cycles of nature, whether you like it or not. The light affects the cells and the hormones. The inner cycles, our inner cycles, set up through the rhythms of nature, either synchronize or don't synchronize with their environment. Some of them will automatically synchronize because the body is trying to synchronize with the sun for its rest cycle. And your mind might not go along with your body in that respect. Then you get out of rhythm. Things happen. If you get out of rhythm, your breathing becomes erratic. Your cycles of life become erratic. So, I have to go on the next segment here, but there's really a lot to it here, so I'll pause and I'll go on to the next segment.